Hi, I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Sean.
And you're listening to the Dead Baby Bear podcast.
Dead Baby Bear. Long story.
I remember meeting you the first, when I was out in Newfoundland, and you had that show at that awesome bar where
Trapper John's.
Yes, I love Trapper John's on George Street, where all the bars go to play.
I remember I was pretty new at comedy. I had a joke about bringing the girl home to my bunk bed.
That's the bunk bed thing. I'm like, how do I have a bunk bed thing with you? I'm like, because you either said you have a bunk bed.
Sorry, we slept together in bunk bed.
We did not. Okay, we did not.
No, we never. No,
we never did.
You could, because you could turn a bunk bed into like a milking table. You know what I mean? Like you put your penis through a hole in the top bunk, and then you can kind of lay in the bottom bunk and give it a little.
It'd be a really thin mattress for me.
Oh yeah, no box spring. Get rid of that fucking box spring.
Bunk beds are difficult to hook up in.
Have you ever had bunk sex?
I have.
Bunk bed sex?
I have.
I did, but it was the bottom bunk, so there's not much to worry about.
Except
coming up, you hit your head.
Yeah, that's true. But it's bunk beds are fun. I had a bunk bed for a while.
I had a water bed.
Oh my God!
Yes,
what?
Queen size, bitch.
How old were you when you had a queen size water bed?
Let me see. When did I start going to the chiropractor?
Did you wear silk? Did you wear silk pajamas to bed every night?
So I think they were like little Spider-Man PJs. But
you were like a child with a queen size
water bed. I was, because it was a cheap
Did
old
you jerk
water
off
bed.
on it? Were you old enough to jerk off on it?
Where it's just a pool of water. You just
I just wonder if it's harder to jerk off. I bet you it's hard to have sex on a water bed. That seems too difficult.
It's rhythmic. You know what I mean? It is a more rhythmic flow.
Go with the tides.
It's just sting sex,
Sting sex.
In and out with the tides.
You are so wet right now. Oh, no, it's leaking.
Well, now you're leaking.
Oh, my God.
Is that you, or is that the condom, or is that... What's leaking? Are you...
I'm all wet. No, literally, I'm all wet. We poked a hole.
Yeah, I thought I was giving women a lot of orgasms, but there was a hole in my water bed, said the corporate comedian.
Oh, that is a total corporate joke, by the way.
Yeah, take it. It's yours. You got to build a corporate setup.
I do. We should slowly build Kathleen a corporate set.
Build her a corporate robot.
Meet both. You can say orgasm because that's not a dirty word.
But the thing is,
coming you can't say. That would be definitely.
You can't say come?
Well, because that's definitely a dirty word. That's definitely off limits at corporates.
Well, you just have to say coming or going, right? Like that's. He didn't know whether he was coming or going. You know what I mean? Christmas party. Good night.
I guess it depends on your level of hack. I guess.
Yeah, I'm a level 10, and there's only 8 levels.
Look at this untouchable hack over here.
I'm in the top bunk of the hack world.
Okay, but wait, I do need to hear about the why. Okay, what was the bunk bed thing?
I can't even remember what the joke was, but I remember nobody laughed except you.
I thought it was funny. Probably
give it a really generous laugh.
I always laugh at it's either a really good joke or it's awful, and those are my favorite.
Made me feel good.
It's probably really good. I mean, good.
Bunk bed.
What was the joke? Do you remember it?
Fuck, I don't know. I can't remember.
It had to be sexual, right? I mean,
you
didn't have a bunk bed joke like Brian Regan. Like, why were we bunking up? Like, it would be funny to hear a bunk bed joke that's not about fucking.
I'm sure there is
by
one.
A true skilled craftsman.
a word craftsman.
Yes, a word craftsman. Kathleen says.
Often referred to as that call themselves wordsmiths.
Oh,
I fucking hate that.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh yeah, I've seen that on some terrible
like calling
comedian
themselves
wordsmiths.
Like
yeah, like
every third one is the or at. You fucking idiot. So I was at the store the other day, and I'm a bit of a wordsmith.
Oh, my God.
The one that I really hate is when somebody's like, and I'm a comedian, right? So you don't want to tell me something like that, because then I'm going to have to respond in a comedian-like fashion, which is as follows. And then they just have the dumbest fucking throwaway line that any human being on earth could have, like, any janitor could have pulled out of his fucking mop and said. But yeah, that's my least favorite one. I'm a comedian. You don't want to fucking... Like, they make it seem like we're fucking, like it's taekwondo of words. Like, you don't want to fuck with a black belt talker.
I've always said, though, I think it would be the worst would be to date a female comedian because we are mean. Like we say the meanest shit, and then it's kind of funny. So then, but no, like I had a boyfriend say,
and
it's
his
hard.
dick was so fucking small.
I've had a boyfriend say something like it's hard to fight with you because you get mean, but it's a little funny.
Yeah, I would only date like bad female comedians. Because then they'd be like, no, honey. And then they would say something that wasn't funny enough to be hurtful.
No, honey.
And then they would go into their little whatever, you know? Go into whatever girls say when they're like,
God.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Newfoundland. Okay. Newfoundland is like Quebec in Canada because it has its own little entertainment, little thingy. And this is like Quebec.
I don't give a fuck about
This is what I mean, though. Like, no, but it's true because, like, that's why it's amazing. Like, they support their own. If they find out you're from Newfoundland, they will support the crap out of you if you're good. Not if you're shitty.
Nice save, Kathleen.
No! I don't know. I just. But
it's really true. Yeah.
But you do like character work as well as stand up. I love to make fun of you for it, but you're actually really good at it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's got some sketches on a little website.
He's famous.
In some
That's
circles.
why you don't know me.
Yeah, he's famous in Newfoundland. Okay.
Well, he has. I mean, children dress as one of his characters for
You
Halloween.
do. Who is your character? Who's your character?
Cecil O'Brien.
Cecil
O'Brien. It's fucking funny. It's pretty funny.
So tell us about Cecil.
He's just like pretty much based off my grandfather and just,
Yeah.
just old and sassy. And he can almost say anything. And it's just like,
Yeah.
Cecil, boy.
Kind of like a ventriloquist talking through a puppet. You're talking through your grandfather.
Yeah. It's
much.
like being a wacky Don Cherry.
But then it's like,
Does he do political
you
videos?
people, boy, he comes over.
That would be fucking great if Cecil O'Brien took over for Don Cherry.
Oh my gosh.
Shit, that is good.
I would love that.
That would be amazing.
Hockey night in Newfoundland.
No, this
There's
is what
a sketch.
they should do. They should just have one crotchety old man from across country every week so we can see what they're gonna say. See if you can do better than Don Cherry. See if you can remember not to call.
This guy's from Dauphin, Manitoba, and he's a noted local racist. And he's gonna jump on with Ron McLean for 3 minutes at the intermission.
I think that's what they should do. Oh my God, wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah, it could be like the Hockey Night in Canada games where it's just like old dudes seeing which one can say something racist for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Doing karaoke of Don Cherry's old episodes. Just reading Don Cherry's old fucking scripts off of a teleprompter. It is funny to see how mad people got about Don. Like they really did get
on
upset.
both sides. Some
yeah,
people got a little bit too mad.
Yeah, it's weird how just something like that divides. Like people ask friends and everything.
It's true. Oh, so many statuses.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad to find out how many of
friends.
my friends were Don Cherry fans or whatever.
And then an equal number of people saying like, "Can't fucking nice to know how many people are so stupid they fucking want Don Cherry fired."
It's and then that girl on the social got in trouble because she said, yeah, white male hockey players suck. I grew up around them. Basically, that's what she said. And then all these families were like, how dare you paint all hockey players with the same brush and blah, blah, blah.
Poor hockey players.
And so they wanted to fire this, fire her. You fired Don Cherry, now fire her.
Why don't you fire that woman?
Yeah, it was so stupid. And I was getting I would go on Twitter and I would read all these responses from these fucking idiots. Like, my children are the greatest. They do bottle drives and they're so sweet and angelic. And so I finally tweeted something. I said, listen, I grew up around hockey players who just happened to all be white males. And they treated me like trash because I was overweight. Like, they spit on me. They called me pig. They were, just horrified. They made me, they were all watching porn in this one. I was probably, 10 or something. And they're all watching porn. And they bring all these sisters in and they're horrible people, some of them.
Yeah.
But then, as soon as I say this... I didn't say anything about them. Yes, they're horrible people. I'm just saying. Maybe what she said wasn't so offside. And I was like, get it, offside.
Offside. Good job. Corporate Kathleen.
I'm working on my corporate
offside,
side.
Dad.
But then I get all these men coming at me on Twitter oh, you're just jealous because they wouldn't fuck you. You're just blah, blah, blah. And I'm
People
no.
say that to you?
Oh, yeah. I had
Really?
this. Oh, if you want to go look at my Facebook right now, I still have the post up. Some psycho from Kelowna came on and he put one of those, well, if women just stopped dating bad guys and dated us nice guys, then maybe you wouldn't be so upset all the time. And I went on and I was just like, I wasn't trying to date these men.
I want you to date him, a nice guy.
I was 9. I was 10. I was like little kid. I was a fat little kid that was being teased and tormented by these white male hockey players. And they never got in trouble because they were the hockey boys. Literally, if you say hockey boys to people, everyone knows. Everyone knows who the hockey boys were.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah.
I think it's just that's a Canadian thing, right? Like if you went to the United States, there would be football guys,
or baseball.
and if you went
Absolutely.
to Mexico, there'd be baseball guys, and cricket in India, and right,
everything has horrifying
guys.
people in it.
Guys.
But I was just like, of course she doesn't like. I have PTSD with hockey players. If I find out someone is a hockey player, I get really nervous around them because I think they're just gonna like do something horrible to me or say something horrible to me. Like I was supposed to do a hockey roast. And I was totally into it, and everyone who invited me, like, I had nothing bad with them, but I was getting anxiety. I'm like, I'm going to be in a room filled with all the guys that used to make fun of me.
Well, and some of it, too, is like your brother played, like, higher level hockey, right? So that's where most of the douchebags go.
Yes.
Right?
And
like,
they get
if
away with everything,
if your brother sucked,
Yes.
you would have had a way better experience.
Probably.
Because you would have been hanging out with fat house league kids that don't do camps.
Yeah.
They're not in $900 camps every month or whatever. Like
this is such a good point.
So they would have been like, fucking, where's my other skate, Randy? And, like they would, wasn't. But yeah, because that's, I mean, from having coached hockey, usually the sweetest kids are the worst at hockey.
Yeah. Because they're just doing it for fun.
Yeah. And the douchier ones are usually your better players.
Yeah, because
like
they've got
that competitiveness in them.
Well, the competitiveness.
I will fuck you up.
But
like,
also, this kid might make the NHL one day. We're gonna kiss his ass. He can do whatever he wants. Like some of those.
It doesn't even have to be NHL. It can just be our team.
Yeah,
like he's the best player on our. These are the best players on our team, and we want to win.
Oh my god!
The parents want to win. The coaches want to win. They all want to win that year. It's not necessarily like 5 years from now I could be in the NHL. It's like we're playing a fucking tournament. It's Bantam B. Let's kick the shit out of these guys.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, we might sit out these 4 players because they were mean to Kathleen. Never.
Oh, yeah, never.
Those are our best fucking players.
Yeah.
So even if your mom came forward and was like, this is what's happening, and
But the parents won't say anything because they don't want their son to lose ice time.
Right. Exactly. Like
I was dragged to hockey my entire childhood, and it's just like it. I definitely have a bad taste in my mouth about hockey, and everyone's like, "Well, you can't say that about all hockey players." I'm like, I never said about all hockey players. I said this was my experience.
Yeah.
Or you can't say that it happens in other sports too. I'm like, never said it didn't happen in other sports.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing too. Is like you turn it in, like you make it in, like this is my experience, and then it turns into 19 women that are going to make it all about white straight males and privilege.
Yeah,
and then you have 3 psycho males that will chime in on behalf of all white straight males, and they're like the dumbest of us.
Yeah.
And then the women will beat them about the brains until they leave the conversation.
Yeah.
And then a lot of women will say like, look, we've had a discussion now.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not a discussion.
No.
That's like 19 chicks kicking the fuck out of 2 idiots.
And every time I post something controversial on Twitter, I regret it. But then I'm like, oh, now I want to see another troll. What another troll has to say to me. I want to see what they're going to bring at me.
I mean, because that is it. Yeah. I mean, I was bullied by hockey players too.
Yeah, of course.
But like, I know that if I grew up in India, I'd be the shittiest cricket player, and they all would have been like, "You fucking idiot!
Yeah,
you suck at cricket. Hit the wicket. Hit the fucking wicket for once, Raul."
Raul, your name would be Raul.
My name would be Raul. Raul Mohammed.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be the Converse still.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna change them both.
Man, don't like cricket games last for like.
Oh my god! Yeah, they changed it to so now it's like. They made like a palatable 3-hour version of cricket, but still like the big test matches when they do international stuff is fucking days. Oh, I mean, millions of people watch it.
So
but
is
yeah.
it like baseball? Like what is the point of like you?
It's dumb. They catch it with their fucking hands. They don't wear any. It's ridiculous. It's the stupidest sport ever.
And you have to wear white. Like why? Like it's like they hate their wives and stuff.
Had to wear white.
You gotta wear white.
They all seem to be wearing white, and then they pitch stupid, like "Hiya!" Like they come over the top, like it's fucking competitive lawn darts.
Please tell me they go "Hiya!" They're like shot. Is it like shot put?
No, they come right over the top, and I'm sure that they'd be like, "Oh, I'm quite the hurler," but fuck you. It's be like baseball. From
Yeah.
a standing position, fire away.
Yeah.
Don't come running in like, huh, 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 oof. It's so dumb that they're running before they throw. That's the dumbest part of cricket.
Running.
And the second dumbest is how many people are watching it. Like, it's just an unwatchable event.
You know what else is crazy? And it's in the UK they watch it. Darts. They have
Oh,
like
God.
arenas of darts, and it's these like.
You just lost all your Newfoundland following.
What do you mean? I'm sure people love
Fucking
darts.
bitch.
No.
What's wrong
Say
with
that again. I
That
love how you
fucking bitch. White
Bitch.
female privileged.
I never said that I don't like darts. I said that it's huge. Darts
No,
are
I'm with
fine.
you. Listen, I'm
Not-
with
Look,
you.
not
Kathleen
all
had a
darts,
bad
not all
experience.
darts.
Kathleen had a bad
Dart
experience with
players.
darts.
50-year-old Gordy from around the bay would always
No.
shove me in a locker.
This is the
You know what would be
no.
fucking hilarious is if darts was taken over by big, muscular black individuals.
Oh my
Like just LeBron is fucking turning. If we could just funnel 50 billion into darts tomorrow and then get all the best athletes for the next 20 years to focus only on like Michael Jordan
But
of
I
darts.
love-
Is there a Michael Jordan of darts?
Man, there gotta be. There's gotta be.
But this is why I love darts because then Terry from the Bay can be an athlete and famous. Like they're like these like they're like the dude that is the sitting at the bar all the time, and he's probably like some of them are very big and some of them are I don't know, but like you always look at this dude.
He gotta-
But people are cheering for him. He's famous there
I
because of
know.
it. It's amazing. I love darts. Why did you think I said?
Oh no, I thought you said darts is another stupid one too. That's what I thought
No,
you said.
well, I mean, it's just like something that I can't believe.
Oh, okay.
that
I'm
many,
sorry.
like they fill arenas.
Yeah.
Thanks
All right,
for
guys,
please
she's
judging me.
cool.
I'm okay.
She's cool.
Let me back into your province. Let me back into your
She
province.
can
Yeah.
come back, boys. Don't worry about it,
At
boys.
home, they call girls like that a dartboard.
When I was in Newfoundland, they would put us in that. Did you ever do the Newfoundland Yuck Yucks?
Yeah, I did it once. It was fantastic. What a great experience.
What a great experience.
You were supposed to be the first comedian I ever saw. I told you that, didn't I?
That would have ruined it.
cute. What? He was
adorable.
supposed to be, but what happened?
You're supposed to be the first comedian I ever seen.
Oh,
Was it? It was. I can't remember. Oh, and then did you get what happened? You couldn't make it.
Yeah, well, then I YouTubed you and I decided I'm good. Okay,
That'll do. That'll do.
No, I
It was
can't
in the
remember what
cab
happened,
on the
but-
way to the venue. You were like, "Let me just check this guy." Holy fuck! Turn around. Turn the cab
go to
around.
George Street. Go
I
to
said
George
I had ordered a meal. It was on the way out.
The
And
middle
it
was on.
And then I got up. No, fuck it. Said, fuck this.
YouTubing the headliner during the middle set is the ultimate power move.
Sean
having-
Lenomber.
Having the fucking
Lenober.
yeah. I
I
think
loved the St. John's Yuck Yucks, but
That was really nice. Yeah.
It was a nice club, but they put you in a house like in the suburbs of it. Like you were
Yeah.
about a 25-minute cab ride from George
I
Street,
know.
which is where everyone wants to go. But I was there once, and like we didn't have a car. It was with two other comics. We didn't rent a car, so I was like, I want to go into town. So I went on Tinder. I'm like, hey,
Tinder.
Do you wanna
God,
go?
Kathleen, just have a fucking iced tea for fuck's sakes.
I was single at the time and I wanted to ride into town. So
Okay.
I went on Tinder and I was talking to this dude and I was like, yeah, I told him everything. I was like, I'm a comedian. I just want to come down and go for breakfast. And he's like, yeah, I'll come take you. And while I'm sitting up there, which were the comics that, oh yeah. Jeff Elliott was one of the comics. I think Kyle Hickey was the other one. But so Jeff Elliott comes up and I'm sitting in the living room waiting for this guy to pick me up. And he comes, he's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going downtown. He goes, how? I'm like, oh, I just met a guy on Tinder. He's going to come pick me up. He goes, oh, do you think he'd bring us? And I was like, I can ask. So then I asked this guy. I'm like,
Hey, Tinder date, can
Hey,
you
Tinder
give these
guy.
other two guys?
yeah, there's two other comics staying with me. Can you?
Yeah, no, they're not going to kill you and take your car.
Can they come with us? And he's like, yeah, I guess.
Oh, I'd be
I wish I
petrified.
could find that friggin' conversation.
No, I would have been.
Do you
I
know
would have
his-
been
Do you
no.
know his name?
Yes.
Is there a way to find his name?
Oh, I know his first name and it's very distinct. Well, maybe not.
What was his last name?
I don't know what his
You
last
know
name
his
was.
last name.
I do know that his name was Chesley.
Oh, I don't know neither Chesley.
Yeah, I have a picture of it somewhere. I'll try and find it of
Chesley.
the four
Yeah.
of us in his truck, and we're all taking a selfie, and then we all went to brunch together. And
Not to
then
be
it was
too
like-
forward, but did you have any relations with him?
No, because
None. Wow. Okay, fair
I
enough.
thought maybe that night, but then like
Pay
'cause
for his brunch.
No, I think we paid for our own brunches. I wasn't gonna like make him
Separate
pick me
brunch.
Got
up.
ripped up.
Chesley.
I was gonna make me pick me up, and then anyway, But so then I was like, well, come to the show tonight, and I got him 2 tickets for the show, and then he like didn't even stick around after. So he was
Really?
like, yeah.
Oh, that was filthy.
No, I don't think it was. I don't know what it was. I think I terrified him probably. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's just like, he was a very, very nice guy.
So you gotta know Chesley, right? Like the way he is.
Chesley, I'll find that picture and I'll post it if I can find it. I know I can. But yeah, like that was like, yeah, you had to be innovative out on the East Coast because they did not pay you a lot to go out there. I remember my first time I was getting like.
At first, I think it was good though, right? Because they were getting killers
never.
at the top.
Yeah, but they'll pay like the people. I was like a pretty new with Yuck Yuck, so I was making like $100 a show. And so you'd go out to Newfoundland and you'd have to pay like $100. You get paid $100 a show, and then you'd have to stay out there. But if there wasn't a show that night, you had to pay $50, or they had to. It was so weird. It was like.
And they made their rate the same as Halifax, so there was no cheaper place to stay. So it was like you either stay on your off nights in Halifax for $50, or you stay in Newfoundland for $50.
Yeah.
They made it the same amount of money so that it was just 2 middle fingers right in your eyes.
Yeah. It was so fun, and everyone wanted to go out and do it because it was fun. Like even though I probably was in debt for 2 months after the first time I went out to middle or MC, it was still one of the best tour experiences I've ever had.
Yeah, and I remember like I only went there once, but my check from the Newfoundland club was just just bounce.
Yeah, that was.
My
They had like
bounced
4
to the
managers, and like none of them, like there was like 2. There's like, boy, I never really saw a show here before. I'm like, don't you manage this place?
Yeah, some of them didn't even.
Like, you want to check it out sometime? And I remember I went up as Cecil and like screeched someone in. There was a comedian who was an absolute killer, but he was like a bit dirty, and he was killing. And I guess the manager didn't like it. It was like one of the first shows he saw, like even though he managed the club.
Yeah.
And
he shuts it down.
And then I goes up and I screeches someone in as Cecil because they just got me to do it. And that goes over fine. And after goes, come here. That was good. Now go over and teach him how it's done.
The headliner.
I like, all right.
Oh, that's such a thing that would happen in Newfoundland.
I'm like,
did he stop the show or he just hated it? He just hated the dirty headliner.
Stop the show?
Yeah, he didn't stop the dirty headliner. He just
it wasn't a head. I think it was either the MC. It might have been the MC or the middle one or the other.
The first time I went out,
I think it was the MC maybe.
First time I went out was MC, and it was like Valentine's weekend. I was with Derek Sagan and I think Massimo from Montreal. But I remember I hosted, and it was Bill, what's his Macintosh at that time, that was managing.
Oh, yeah.
And he came over and he was like, if I knew how dirty you were, I would have never asked for them to hire you on Valentine's Day weekend. We have Valentine's shows tomorrow. People are paying $200 a couple, and I can't put that on my...
This is about love.
This
is the weekend of love.
Not sex, Kathleen, and cops.
Fucking waterbed hand jobs.
But there were like 10 people in the club that night. Everybody bombed. Like, it was awful. And I was just like, okay, well, are we getting more money, first of all, if you're getting $200 a couple? No, we're not going to talk about that. And then I was just like, well, I think I'll do better when you see me in front of a crowd. And then the next night I killed, and he's like, he actually came out to me and apologized. He's like, I'm sorry. It's just like, sometimes you hear these jokes and you're like, oh, it's just all dirty and no one's going to like it. And then he's like, but you're good or something, whatever. It was hard.
Was it Jackman or McIntosh?
McIntosh.
Oh, it was McIntosh.
And that was another thing. I was like, really? He's a comic. Like, and he's...
Yeah, I didn't think...
Well, and don't crawl up my ass on night one. Like,
I was like shocked. I was like, that was my first time out there, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going to get to come back.
Yeah, I mean, I've had people say that, like, yeah, last week we had this fucking guy out, and Friday night wasn't good, so I laid into him, and Saturday he was better.
Fuck off.
And I'm like,
I love that.
I'm like,
that really makes me want to be
that's
better.
not how it works.
No.
Like, if you tell a comedian, like, tonight was, let's see what happens tomorrow, because tonight was sucked. Like, they're either going to have low self-esteem and tank it the next night by accident just because they're so weirded out by the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or they're going to have an ego and be like, fuck you. Like, I'll do really shitty on purpose then. If that's what... If that's,
that'd be fun.
Either way, your show sucks.
Yeah.
But they're like, yep, no. I had to put my fingers on the scales a little bit for the last show. Like, had to get involved.
I bet some funny out of them.
I imagine there's comedy coaches out there for sure.
Think about how many people ended up as club managers that should have just been hecklers. You know what I mean? Like they should have just heckled a couple times at random
Yeah.
one-nighters, but
Yeah.
instead they're like, I'm going to work at a comedy club. Take this heckling thing to a new level. Get involved in payroll also.
It is true. Sometimes managers will sit you down, and yes, they do watch a lot of comedy, but some of them are kind of rude about it. Like that they were like, you should do it this way. You should do it this way. Okay.
But like someone who watches comedy as much as a manager, I feel like sometimes like they would have the most warped opinion about comedy.
Yes,
They must be so
For
desensitized
sure.
to
Oh,
it all.
God, yeah.
Yeah, they watch too much comedy.
Yeah, I mean, it's
they're gonna
like,
fuck with you.
I mean, it's no different than, when I was in Diary of Anne Frank in grade 12. We would just laugh. By the end of it, we laughed at, we would just make up shit like, oh, there he is down in the ditch. Like, we'd start ad-libbing Diary of Anne Frank, and we would just be laughing our asses off.
You would ad-lib Diary of Anne Frank.
Yeah, there was one.
Like
there was
how?
there was one night where I come out as Otto Frank. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my God! Please, could you
So
just
I
say
w-
you
I
did
w-
an improvised version of Diary of Anne Frank?
We did do. During dress rehearsals, we did a lot of it.
Oh my God!
So I there was one night during an actual performance, and there's two things in high school that I can't believe I did. This is one of them. I come out as Otto Frank during like a fucking Friday show.
Is that the dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm coming back and I'm seeing the attic for the first time after the war. I think he's the only survivor. So Otto Frank comes back to this attic and is looking through his old attic where everyone had been raided and murdered in Auschwitz and Krakow.
Oh my God!
And then I'm just looking through it, and I'm supposed to cry and fall to my knees, and then the light comes down, and then that's the end of the first scene.
Oh my God! I love high school
But
theater.
instead, I just like looked up at everybody in the audience, and I was like, "Which one of you motherfuckers stole my jacket?"
You did not.
I did.
You did not.
I looked around the whole thing, and then
do
I was
that.
like, "Which one of you motherfuckers stole my jacket?"
At one of the shows?
Yeah.
Did your drama teacher rip into you?
Oh yeah, he wasn't happy,
Oh,
but he knew I was fucked.
But he probably thought it
he
was
knew I
funny.
was a fuck up. Like every single program that you got, like my bio was like Sean Lecomber has been, and they never made me stop. Like, but Sean Lecomber has been involved in over 50,000 plays, and ranks the Diary of Anne Frank easily in the top 1,000. Then just like those just little things I remember writing, and they would just put it in the fucking program, and then we would bastardize Diary of Anne Frank, and they'd be like,
which one of you motherfuckers
"Fuckers stole my jacket."
If you ever write a memoir, can that be the name of it? The story is on the cover.
"Which one of you motherfuckers stole my jacket?"
There's no
Like
way
it's just,
you did. Oh
it's
my
pretty
God.
far out of context with what was actually happening.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Schnell, yeah, I was Otto Frank originally, and then I got demoted to Peter Van Damme.
Isn't Peter Van Damme a bigger role?
Not well in some ways, yeah, because him and Anne hit it off or whatever.
Yeah, he's like the love.
He's got the
interest.
cat, and he's like, "Hey, Anne, what's up?" She's like, "What the fuck? Why are you clogging again?"
How did they have a cat up there?
I don't know, man, but like that's insane. Yeah,
Like, I think a cat would
a
give
cat. They had
away.
cats and babies. Like,
There was a baby.
the fuck are
I
you
need to
doing with a
read this
cat in
book
an
again.
attic? Yeah, you're right. I never thought about that. But what the fuck is that cat doing?
Yeah, like the Germans are gonna see it in the
Meow.
attic.
Like,
yeah.
what was that?
What if it's a German spy? What if that is why they found Anne Frank as a cat?
That's interesting.
That darn cat.
This is the most I learned about Anne Frank. I didn't even read the book.
Have you guys ever
I'm
stopped?
just like,
to-
oh, that's what happened.
What if they work for the guy?
No, I think someone was actually looking for their jacket.
Yeah, there must have been 3 guys going, "I didn't take his fucking jacket."
That's how the Holocaust started.
That's
Someone stole Hitler's good jacket.
somebody stole Hitler's good jacket.
And it was not. It was a never mind.
Never mind. I was going to say something anti-Semitic.
No, I was.
Oh, you weren't?
Well, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
That's why he hated the Jewish.
Holy
people, 'cause they stole a
shit! Your
jacket.
hoodie matches your shirt.
which matches your jeans.
Fuck, is that cool?
And your glasses. Look at
What a put together look. This guy's put together.
you.
Only for podcasts.
Do you like?
Only for
Do you like have different glasses that match different outfits?
No, fuck
Oh,
no.
okay.
These are my only glasses.
Okay, these are my. I took mine off.
Yeah,
'cause you
these
guys
are my
were
only
wearing-
glasses.
When's your next tour,
Tomorrow
Mike?
they might
you
look
have a
red.
big tour coming up?
End of January and early February. Lisa Baker.
Okay. Where are you guys going?
We're going to St. John's, Labrador City,
be
Goose Bay, Corner Brook, and Fort McMurray.
Oh my god, that'd be so
Fort
Fort
fun.
Mc-
McFucking Murray.
Fort McMurray.
Do you guys do that like
Piano?
900 seat Keanu Theater sort of thing?
That's Holy Heart Theater. We're doing that one this year, and then we're doing Keanu Theater as well.
Oh my God,
Nice.
that's so fun.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean. Like, you would never be an Albertan moving to, like, Halifax, and then suddenly all of the Albertans will come and sell out a theater when you come home.
Yeah, dude,
like, that doesn't happen.
I guess
No.
there's
Not that I'm saying,
and
like, you don't
Albertans
deserve
probably
it, but
wouldn't
I'm like,
move. Albertans probably wouldn't even like. Not many move out east. I wouldn't imagine either, do they?
No.
No, and I mean, you'd have to market it in a way that was like super aggressive. Like you'd have to have like a Confederate flag poster, like fucking White Knight. Like,
The long lost niece of Ralph Klein.
yeah,
Just be like, brought to you by Monster Energy.
yeah. Are you
No,
out
but
of energy?
My whole point of that is just that people from Newfoundland are so loyal. It's the same as like that happens in Quebec. And also, I mean, this is why you want to get a following in the gay community. They are loyal as and they come out. That's the thing, is like sometimes like they come out. Okay, they come out. All right.
I didn't pick
All
up
right.
on that either. I'm kind of.
I thought he meant semen. They come out. Of course they do, you
But
idiot.
no, you have huge support in Newfoundland. That's awesome.
Yes, lucky situation for sure.
They like, yeah, because well, I mean, first of all, you're good, but second of all, they like, they like to hear stories.
yeah.
We don't really give a fuck. Like if we go, like if you're an Albertan who moved to Toronto,
Yeah.
generally you wanted to get away.
Yeah.
Like you were getting away from something, whereas Newfies always have this longing to return
Yeah.
to their stupid fucking homeland.
Are you one of those idiots that doesn't like being called?
I was born down by.
Do you mind being called a newfie, or are you one of those people who are like, it's the same as the N word? I can't handle that
Well,
argument.
it is the N word.
I don't know, like.
N word. Jesus.
Don't you dare!
Don't say
You
the
don't know what
Canadian.
we've been through. We had to hear jokes in the break room. Years and years.
The Overground Railroad.
Right?
Just
And we had that one
just-
feller that had to go to the back of the train, and he said, "No, sir."
Yeah,
And his name is Terry.
Chashley Sparks.
I just saw
He was back there with Jeff Elliott.
Was it
and
Chesley? It's
It was
Chesley.
Chesley.
It was Chesley.
Kenny Wayne Chesley. The Newfie country singer. But Newfie, I mean, if you put Newfoundland on the prairies, it's a shithole. You know what I mean? It's really the ocean that makes it. It's like anything. It's like Vancouver. The ocean makes it.
Yeah.
The ocean, like anytime you talk about some great place of longing to
Yeah.
return, it's always near a huge body of water. It's
Yeah.
never landlocked.
No.
So anybody who leaves Alberta to go somewhere else, if they saw there was an Alberta comedy tour, they'd be like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like they literally would be like, oh boy.
What Alberta are you getting, right?
Yeah. You're like, I don't want to go to that. And you're talking both sides of the political spectrum.
Yeah.
Because if you're a conservative out in Toronto, you don't want to go see an Alberta comedy tour because you're like, it's probably a bunch of liberal Albertans that moved out here, so fuck that.
Yeah.
You know? And then the liberal ones are like, Alberta comedy tour? Are you kidding? Like, I want to go see a couple of rednecks.
Yeah.
Although that'd be fun. I'm thinking of starting I'm going to start that tour, like a redneck,
Of Alberta.
Canadian rednecks comedy tour. Like, don't
it
you
be
think that
like
would
a-
sell?
I think it would.
Like rednecks of Canadian comedy, like Canadian rednecks, like mullets and Confederate flags and fucking guns
Who
and
would
truck
be on the
nuts.
tour?
Oh, there's 3 or 4 people that jump right out at you.
Could I like make up like a Cecil like character for Kathleen from Alberta?
Yeah, you could be like, I don't know. You could be like, yeah, you could be the girl on it.
Aunt Lydia or something.
Yeah, you could make
Aunt
up like a
Lydia
Larry
is
the Cable
a bad
Guy.
woman. Okay.
Cecilia?
In a different.
Yeah, you could
show.
be like the Larry the Cable Guy, but the female version.
Yeah, I'd do that as long as I don't get tied up in it. But like if a character did it.
Yeah. Lori the oil hooker.
Yeah, Lori the oil hooker.
I live up in Fort Mackay. I'm a lady of the camp. They call me the lady of the camp. She's not a tramp. She's at the camp.
But it'd be cool if she also had the skills to fill in if something bad happened.
Right. She's
So
always wearing a hard
She's
hat.
not just a hooker. She's
No,
also
she can do a
part
bunch
of the
of stuff.
job.
Yeah.
She's busy. She's a busy lady.
Yeah, she
She's
can
a
do anything.
multitasker.
Yeah, but it would be funny if you lived at a work camp and you just gave hand jobs in a Jack and Jill bathroom. But it paid really good. It paid great.
It would pay great, probably.
So you just had to stay away from the authorities. Why does that bitch have her own room?
Do you think that there is like a hooker that people like keep going to even after all these years?
Yeah, that's interesting. And also, if you're having sex with the same hooker 5 times, is that an affair?
I might be.
Or is it not? Because I think prostitutes don't give a shit, right?
Have you ever read that graphic novel, Paying for It?
No.
It's about this guy who decides, like, he gets dumped and he's all sad and he's like, I don't want to have sex with emotions anymore. I just want to have sex. So he just starts fucking prostitutes exclusively, and it's actually really interesting. And then he falls in love with one. So, Gary Marshall got a hold of that story, even though he didn't need to.
Harvey Weinstein got his fingers into it and turned it into a goddamn love story. That's supposed to be
It's like a memoir, like a.
It's like a real thing. I think the woman that dumped him was Sookyun Lee from the TV.
Do you think he saw him being a
Sookyun TV Lee? Was she from Much Music?
She started at Much Music, right? Yeah.
Master. Who else do you remember from Much Music? Master T, or was it
Master T? Yeah,
he was
Master
good.
T.
And then the intern, Rick. There was like an intern guy, Rick the temp.
He's still doing like radio.
And then there was
in
another
Toronto.
intern guy that made it from Winnipeg or something.
George Troublopoulos is from.
Lopalopoulos?
Yeah, he's from it. Bill Wolichka. Do you remember Bill
Bill
Wolichka?
Wolichka.
So remember when he was like on TV in Edmonton?
Mm-hmm.
Like he came and did breakfast television in Edmonton. I'm like, why is Bill Wolichka from Much Music doing breakfast television in Edmonton?
Oh fuck, they'll do. I mean, Canadian industry, the Canadian entertainment industry hasn't changed much. I bet they got paid fuck all.
Oh, probably.
Like, and they were household names for a decade,
Yeah.
and I bet you they made $50,000 as a base salary to be in there. Like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Are you ready for Electric Circus?
Oh, I was always ready for Electric Circus.
They probably had to edit the show and everything. Fucking.
Yeah, they didn't. And the thing about Much Music, remember, this might be before Mike's time.
Yeah, how old are you?
27.
Yeah,
Okay.
way before
Way
his
before
time.
you.
But they used to have Much Video dance parties.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that. I remember
so
that.
it was like in
I
junior
was,
high and high school, they would have Much Video dance parties, and then you could pay X number of dollars.
Okay,
and
never
they would be like, okay,
Send
yeah,
a
we'll but yeah, so that you could pay a lot of money and get a real fucking VJ to come.
Yeah.
And you're talking $1,000. You could get like, I can't remember the name, but you could get like,
Master T.
Yeah, you could get them for like $1,000. Like they would just come out, or you could pay the shitty amount, and then they would give you like a feed. So they would bring a Much Music van to your junior high,
Yeah.
all decked out, and make it look like the party was in there, like the VJ was in there and fucking doing the DJ shit. And then they would have like a feed, like a live feed in your gymnasium.
Yeah.
And it would just be Master T, like, yo, what's up? Are you ready to fucking dance?
Yo, what's up?
What
St.
else
Michael's
would
High
they do? Are you ready to
School.
fuck?
Did
Are
they
you
do
ready
that?
to fuck?
Did they do that? Did they make it like? Did they do that? They were it's like, welcome to Pierre Trudeau High School. Thank you for parking.
Yeah.
I couldn't think about it.
Yeah, well, that was like when I went to the
What's up, Holy Heart?
Yeah.
I went to the Mississauga Yuck Yucks one time, and it was the funniest difference between like a pre-recorded intro and my name.
I love that one. Yeah,
Where
I
they're
know
like,
exactly.
welcome to Yuck Yucks, the birthplace of Canadian stand-up comedy. And now, tonight's host and MC. And a guy comes on and goes, shall I go better? Like the Arab owner. And every night it was like, your host and MC. Shall I go better?
That was an Ajax.
Yeah. Oh,
That
yeah, it
was
was
Steve.
Ajax.
That was
Shall I go
him.
better? Shall I go better? Yep.
That was totally good. That was my favorite too.
That's who they picked to do.
Oh, Steve!
Yeah.
Steve loved doing it too, and it was great.
He
I
did
remember
love
that.
doing it. He
I
did love
remember
doing it,
always
yeah.
giggling a little bit. It's like, give it up for Kathleen McGee. It was
Kathleen
so
McGee.
weird.
Your host and MC.
Steve was the
Kathleen McGee
greatest.
bleep.
Steve was one of my favorite comedy clubs owners of all time. Oh, he was awesome.
He actually was pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of good. I shouldn't
Yeah.
make it sound like the comedy club
No,
managers are
there's
bad.
tons.
Most of them are good.
Most
but there
of them
are,
are
there's
amazing,
some that
yeah.
are crazy for sure.
Yeah. No, like guys, please hire us still. No. I really I've never really had a horrifying one. But no, I won my grade 12 social convener spot on the student government on the platform that I would bring the Much Music Video dance show to a dance. And I won. And I did it. I followed through.
I followed through my platform. Not like Trudeau.
Not like Trudeau.
I made a
better than
pipeline of dance. I built a dance pipeline. SNC Lavalin.
Oh my God. Do you think that school governments can be corrupt?
The government can be corrupt?
The school governments, you know,
Oh,
like you think
yeah.
that they like take flats of pop when they're not supposed to from the party room.
Take some juice boxes and rice cakes.
You know?
Take those extra
Oh,
hot
no.
dogs home. Like, hey, I thought there was supposed to be more chips in this. Shut the fuck up.
I miss school so much. School was like when
You
had
miss school so much?
Elementary.
Yeah.
When you were like so excited because it was hot dog day.
Right.
You get so excited because hot dog day. Like now I can just go to every day could be hot dog day at Costco.
Yeah.
But
Life is hell. I think I'll have a hot dog.
literally you would look for well this is fat Kathleen. She was so excited all week. It's like hot dog day on Friday. And it was literally boiled wieners. Like it wasn't
yeah.
like anything good.
So you were going from
No
heaven to,
barbecue
you were
sauce.
going from heaven to hell every fucking weekend, like hot dogs and then hockey, like fucking
That is exactly. I feel like
hot
I'm
dogs
making-
to hockey, the Kathleen McGee
I'm
story.
making some mental breakthroughs today on why I am the way I am.
Yeah, hot dogs, yeah, hockey players. Oh my god, wait.
That's it in a time lapse.
Oh
my
no,
God, oh my
that's
God.
We used to
bad.
have like pizza day, McDonald's hamburger day.
Yeah.
And we like I remember.
Oh fuck,
Remember
that
that
was
orange
good.
drink? Did you get that orange
Fuck,
drink?
was that ever good?
They would
Orange
just
Crush.
no, they would literally send it this giant yellow cooler
Yeah.
and a literal jug of syrup. And one of the teachers, you'd look over and she'd be dumping the whole syrup jug in, and then she's got the garden hose filling it. Like
I know.
never
It was
sink
just-
water,
it was
always
awesome.
garden hose water. Yeah, and then every
And it
kid
was
be running around with an orange mustache.
You're ready for the Alberta Redneck Tour.
Oh yeah, that
Confederate flags.
That would be a good thing to serve at intermission. Orange
would be-
drink.
Go have some orange drink and think about things. I really think that there'd be money in that because there's a whole bunch of people that are like, you know, way right of center that would be like, every comedy show to them would look like
Yeah.
garbage,
Yeah.
right? Like
Maybe
there's
you
a-
would sell because you think it wouldn't sell because of the whole like, oh, the left is going to think it's this thing and the right is going to think it's this thing. Maybe
No,
they
you
would
want it.
come
You
because
want it.
they'll
You
vote-
want
yeah.
it to be that,
Yeah.
right? You want the left to be like, can you believe this piece of shit
Yeah.
towards
That'll help
happening?
promote it.
Yeah, and then they are the ones that really get the message out there more so than even the
Yeah,
conservatives
it's true.
would.
It's true.
Is like, can you believe these comedians are? And it would just be like a controversial poster. It would be 3 conservative comedians with a Confederate flag,
Yeah.
and one of them is giving Hitler a noogie.
Well, they tried to do that in Toronto with the White Guys Matter tour. Don't you remember that? It was like
Yeah,
Aaron
that's right,
Burr.
yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
And it was like, all these people got mad about it. But the thing I heard about, I'm like, everybody was going crazy online, but nobody showed up to actually literally protest the show.
That takes
was,
effort.
like- nobody came down and was like, don't go into this show, like did something like that. It was just all online stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to the people that didn't like the idea, they would have. Why would they go to the show? You're like, this is a
Yeah.
show that sounds like something I would hate,
yeah,
so I'm not gonna go.
But it's not about them going. It's just that everyone was so about it online, but then they wouldn't even like actually literally protest the show.
Yeah,
They only protested it online, and it actually sold the show out.
Pussies.
It
Did they
sold
sell
the
it
show
out?
out. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, so you have
You're
something.
right.
You have something that seems in the comedy community to
Yeah.
be very unsavory.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's highly. Ooh, I don't want to be involved in that. And I'm not even saying I'd want to be on the show. I would
Yeah.
not want to be on.
No, you want to
this
produce it and
redneck-
make
I want
the
to
money.
produce it and
You
make
want
the
to sit at
fucking
home
money.
and make money.
Exactly. I don't want to even be a part of it.
Yeah.
I just want to like finance it with Mike's money, and we'll do like a double header. You know what I mean? It'll be you and Colin Hollett
And Brian Aylward.
and Brian Aylward, and then it'll be the 3 rednecks, and you guys will go on and do it all together.
Oh my god, it'd be great.
Fuck it. More characters.
We got to get some negative attention from the left for this podcast then, because then people will hear about it.
Okay, so what should you say?
What should you say?
Well,
What
I
should Mike
can't say it.
What
No,
can-
we'll
just-
be
throw 'em-
We'll
immediately.
just get a guest come on and say something totally off color on every episode.
Hey, Mike, read this.
He fucking
That's
said
our
it.
promo. It's just, hey, come watch our new podcast. It's starring Mike Lynch, and then just you looking off script but saying something flattering
Horrifying.
about Himmler.
I think that we should get Cameo. I showed you Cameo. Have you?
Oh yeah,
I have seen it.
It's
yeah.
amazing.
Are there any Canadians on it? Are there any Canadian comedians
Yeah,
doing
Derek Sagan's on it, and he's made
Derek
a lot.
Sagan.
And Norm Macdonald's on.
Norm Macdonald does
Yeah,
it. Okay.
they make a good.
What is it, like $50? You pay $50 to get
set
into
whatever you want. Like you could be like $5 and someone would do it. And there are people that have like $1,500 for it. But like you set your own rate, and then like someone just pays you and they say, can you say this or say hi to this person? And then you just sit in your limo or your Volkswagen Jetta, depending on your level of celebrity, and you're just like, hey, happy birthday. And they make like so much money doing it.
God damn it.
I got serious in my car, so I've been listening to the Howard Stern show a lot, and like, and JFL radio. But no. But
Of course not.
But no.
I turned stand-up off quicker than a fucking iPhone alarm.
But there's like, but one of the Howard Stern people, like, I haven't listened to Howard Stern ever really, like, so I don't know any of these
Is he
characters.
pretty good?
I like listening to him. He's great. But like, he has this one guy that comes on named High Pitch Eric or High Pitch, and he's like, sounds like this, and he's like a mentally slow man, and like,
Yeah, but
he's
probably brave and wonderful.
very. But they like make fun of him and stuff, and like he makes fun of himself. It's just, but anyway, he's on Cameo, and he made like $70,000.
Oh my fuck.
Like this is how like.
And in what time span?
I don't know. I just heard that he's made $70,000, and then Howard's like, "Is anyone telling me he's got to pay tax on this? Is anyone telling him he's got to save because he went and bought a car and all this stuff?" They're like, "This guy's we can't let him." Anyway, but like, this is just another opportunity because I think so many people think that everybody is getting paid millions of dollars to be in the entertainment industry when it's just the huge superstars. Like even people that are in a ton of movies are always broke too.
Yeah, it's usually feast or famine, right? A little feast or famine.
Yeah.
And we usually feast.
We do.
Fancy
not.
feast.
We fancy. I don't know, but I think you should get on Cameo.
I don't know. I can't.
Make some money.
Oh, he should.
I don't want to.
He can do what he wants to
Well,
do.
you can do what you
Kathleen.
want.
I can do what I want to do.
We raised him to do his own thing.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You weren't around ever.
Shut up.
I was around for all 8 Christmases.
No, I just think, I mean, if I had a little bit more love, I would be on Cameo immediately.
You could be on Cameo.
Well-
like you do have enough fans to get.
Maybe I'll set something up and we'll see how many. But this is what I want to do. I want to get like the $10 level cameos to do ads for Dead Baby Bear.
Oh, you know what would be funny is if
That
we
could
started
be funny.
making cameos for celebrities. Like if me and you started going like, "Hey, Bill Murray, happy birthday, you fucking piece of shit," and then
Just tweet a teaser to him and then say, DM us $50 and we'll send you the rest of the video.
Yeah, like we could make our own cameo videos where we just say happy birthday to celebrities.
What's
over
the
and over
opposite
again.
of a cameo? What could we call that? An intrusion.
An intrusion.
Here's your intrusion video. Somebody you don't know.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of another letter that would go with ameo, but I can't.
Whammeo.
Spamio.
Spameo, that could be it.
Bameo.
Anyways,
But what if you just did it for just like a certain season, like just for be like on Facebook for Valentine's Day
Yeah.
for this week, and then you'll be like, oh, Kathleen's gonna do this for a limited time,
That's
Yeah.
actually.
and then people feel like they got to get the fuck on it.
Yeah, get the fuck on
happy
it.
Valentine's Day.
Nobody's going to pay for me to send them a video. I've sent
Watch.
yeah. Not and
You'll see.
I don't
You'll
know.
see.
You'll see, Kathleen. You'll see that you'll look like an idiot.
Be all
And people will be like, Kathleen is a very sad person.
Build it. Just build the machine, Kathleen.
Build a fucking machine. I was just in Toronto.
Oh my
We should
God,
start
how was
scratches.
it?
Toronto was I love Toronto. It's the best city to people watch. It's out of control people watching there. Like
Yeah.
just every single it's got to be the most diverse place in the world. Honestly, like there is somebody from every country there. There's some real weird looking people there. There's some real not weird looking people. I don't know. I did a lot of people watching because I took a lot of transit. But
And there's also the thing about places like Toronto is you can people watch because there's so many people.
yeah.
Like it's just the volume of humans makes it easy to watch them. But if you just
No one's like, oh, that dude's staring at me.
I know, like in Mike Lynch's hometown, if he was people watching
I'd be on the
yeah.
news.
downtown, the
You
person
get
would
me
be like,
too.
"What are you fucking staring at?
A mysterious man spotted.
I'm just people watching." Like, well,
Is people
I'm a
watching,
person.
Is people watching a thing in Newfoundland?
I mean,
I'm sure it is, Kathleen. That's not like just everybody's looking at the ground over there.
No,
we're
but
just like, how you doing today? Don't look at me, Terry. That's rude.
What are you people watching? I'm a human being.
Have you ever been to Toronto?
Yeah, I've been to Toronto.
Proper?
Not properly.
Just
There's
Mississauga.
only 2 times we kind of just dropped in to do a show, and one time I was there for like 2 weeks, just hitting open mics. This was back in early 2015.
Oh man,
just eating shit, just getting humbled.
Eating shit and getting humbled.
That's your Toronto story?
Oh yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, Toronto can be. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, Toronto's one of those cities where it's the most ambitious people from the country tend to go there, right? So it's a bit more of an aggressive scene, but it's not because Toronto's aggressive. It's just like, the ultra ambitious from each scene tend to go there. So they're a little bit more like, what's up, bitch?
What's up, bitch? You better bring it to this open mic that no one is at.
Yeah, I think I was there, and it was weird because like I did hardly any shows, but I did one show where the guy was like, I just asked, like I was just like, hey, I'm just in from Edmonton, just wondering if I could grab a spot tonight, and he's like, what's your name? And then I told him my name, and he's like, never heard of you. And I'm like, yeah, I know, like I've never heard of you either. Like, we've both never heard of each other. Like I don't know why this has to be
Never
like
heard of you.
Never heard of you. Like, thanks, random guy at a Christmas party in Vermilion. Like,
I never
for the
heard
heads
of him.
up. Well, you're not famous. If I was famous, I wouldn't be trying to get a 3-minute spot at this fucking dirt open
And
mic.
he was the guy running the open mic.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then it was funny because he's like, I don't think I'm going to be able to get you on. So it ended up being like kind of poetic justice for me because he's like, I don't think I'm going to be able to get you on. And then his headliner and a couple of spots bailed, didn't come. So all of a sudden he's like, fuck, like now
Now I need you.
40 minutes to backfill on this show. So he comes up to me, he's like, hey, you still want to do a spot? Like, yeah. And he's like, just do 20, 25, like,
Just
and then
headline for free.
I just did 5. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, man, I didn't come down here to do like a fucking free middle spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's that story.
I don't know. I just like, there's a lot of, I don't know what the shows in Toronto are anymore. Like ones that were there when I lived there are gone. I think there's like the Rivoli is like the only one that still is going that I like remember.
Yeah, and the Rivoli, yeah, that was, I had to wait for, like I got on, I had a spot at the Rivoli.
Yeah.
But they were very clear, like they were like, you're on last on the second half. I'm like,
and that's the worst spot to be.
Okay. And they're like, just to be clear, that's not headlining.
Yeah.
That isn't headlining. That's just,
You did not headline the Rivoli.
and I'm like, okay. Like I never said that I.
What were they be afraid of? Like you go out and tell
Well, they
everyone?
just thought, I headlined the Rivoli, and be like, he didn't fucking headline the Rivoli. He
Yeah.
did a spot at the end of the Rivoli show. So they wanted to be very clear about that. And I don't remember it being, like the crowd was fine, but yeah, whenever you're new in any scene, you kind of feel like, hey, are we gonna hang out after? No, bye. But everybody, they all live there, so they just go home. But you're like, hey, I'm just staying on Kathleen's mattress. Anybody want to have a
and I don't
beer?
want to go back. I don't want to go back and sit on her mattress.
No, I mean it was very. Yeah, where did I? Yeah, it was very nice of you to let me stay there.
Oh
was a
yeah,
nice
you stayed
place.
with me. I
stayed with you for a bit, and then the next time I went, I stayed with Rob Pugh
in their squirrel house, right?
in the squirrel hut.
Horrifying house.
Yeah, there were squirrels like running around in your. You could hear them in the walls and stuff.
Like by accident? Like they
just lived there.
infested?
The squirrel. There were so many trees around this shitty complex that squirrels were in and out of like your house. In the gutters, in the fucking walls, in the roof.
Oh, wow.
Everywhere. So you'd just be trying to sleep and you just hear like hundreds of little feet.
And
Yeah,
also
there
they
definitely
were
weren't mice.
they were probably also rats.
I mean, they could. Yeah, they could
probably
have
were
been.
also
Yeah,
rats.
they could have been.
Squirrels. Why is squirrels okay to me? But like, I mean, it's still creepy. But if it was rats, I'd be like, no.
Yeah, it's really all in the tail.
It is all in the tail.
Yeah. If rats had a fun, beautiful, long like tail that you could pat like a horse's mane,
Is this why we don't respect bald men?
I
Because
think
they don't have
so.
a hairy tail on their head.
I think it's like dicks, right? Like we don't like little dicks. We don't like thin tails. We don't like that. That's disgusting. Anything with a thin
We like
tail,
tails
get
like we
out.
like our dicks. With a huge veiny tail, then you could stay in my house.
Yeah.
Ratatouille.
Oh
Ooh.
my God.
Tatatouille.
We have,
Bingo.
at my girlfriend's house, we found she lets this cat like in her room all the time. And
Whose cat is it?
It was I should clarify. I suppose.
Okay, because this is weird.
All right. Well, fuck. I bail already. I'm not telling the story.
No, tell the story.
There's a cat in her building, and we always like let it in from time to time. Okay. And I heard the cat in the middle of the night, and I was just like, "What the fuck is the cat gnawing on?" And then I woke up, and I couldn't see the cat, and then it's a fucking mouse. And then I like lift something up, and the mouse just flies out, and she screams or whatever, and it just. But like, if it wasn't the fact that it was a mouse and it wasn't allowed in the house or whatever, like it would be just an adorable little hamster.
I know. I have held hamsters and thought they were so cute. Then I see a little mouse screaming, and I'm like, no,
you piece of shit. And it crawled into her slipper, and then I like captured it, and I just like, and then she started feeling all bad. It's like, oh, make sure you like release it out into the wild or whatever.
Did you kill it?
I didn't kill it. I put it in a box and I laid it outside, and I was like,
you gave it a house.
I gave it a house, but then it froze to death when I checked in on it later. And she felt really bad. Well, I went out earlier, and she was like, you got to get rid of that. You can't just have it in the box next to the house, or like it's really cold outside. And I went out and I checked on it, and it was still like...
You shook it?
I'm like, oh, yeah, it's still fine. Like, just give it a second. Like, we can get dressed and have breakfast. Then when I let it out later, it was just...
It's a little mouse cube. It was a little mice cube.
And then I just threw it in
and
the
that's
garbage.
what's crazy about us hating mice too, is there's no mice injuries reported.
No
one ever gets injured by a mouse. Like, like our fear of
give it time.
Our fear of snakes and spiders is rational. People have been stung and killed and venom and all that shit. But mice, what the fuck are we doing running around for mice?
Yeah, that's so
weird. They don't even hurt us.
No.
Even like you've never even heard of groups of 1,000 like crawling all up a Mike and killing them. Which would be kind of funny, like if he just was overtaken by mice and eaten.
Oh, gross! This is why.
No, we should be like.
This is why Alberta is the best province, though, because it is rat-free. There are no rats in Alberta.
Yeah, that blew my mind. I didn't believe that.
People don't believe it, but there are no rats.
How can you do that? How can you just say there's no rats?
They have a border patrol, a
They have
rat
a
border patrol.
Like, oh, okay, so we build a wall to keep them out.
Yeah, we've built a wall to keep those fucking rats out.
A 2-foot rat wall.
You think walls are new ideas?
It's all just super cans of Monster Energy that go entirely around the border.
And they just have to be this tall because
they're
mice
all
can't climb up
and then the rats are like, fuck it, I'll stay in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, no, rats. The rats are horrifying, though. I remember when I first moved to Vancouver and I started seeing them, and I'd be like, "What is that? A cat? Oh my god, that's a rat!"
Yeah,
like,
they're a little too beefy. They're a little too huge. They're disgusting. Even rats know they're gross.
We were in Gastown with some friends, and like we looked down an alley, and it looked like it was literally like waves of water. And then my one crazy friend, she's like, I'm gonna go look. She walks in and like just jumps up and down, and they all scatter except for this one giant rat who's
the king
like,
rat.
What the fuck do you want?
The
like,
silver tail.
He literally said fuck off to her in English.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Like, ah! Like that's exactly what you would expect a rat to say if you could speak English.
Fuck off.
That's all they say.
That's all they say. Yeah, rats are horrifying.
So did we win or not?
No, speaking of squirrels, we did not win on the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Is it a Christian vacation?
Christmas.
Should we do our traditional line of scratch tickets?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good idea.
I dare you to snort that.
We should all die.
You won't die. You might get a sinus infection.
I'll call Brian, you call Colin.
Are you really going to?
No.
Do you want to do a pinky? Do you want to do a pinky of the...
I'll do a key bump, yes. I'm not a maniac.
You can do it on my dick nails.
I'll do a key bump.
Oh, yeah, they're dick nails. That'd be hilarious.
Dick nails.
I'll be a legend if I do.
I'll do a key bump, but not a real line. Well, this was a fun podcast.
Yeah, did you
I think
feel
Mike
you
got a lot off his chest.
Yeah.
No,
I was nervous. You guys are...
nervous.
You guys got it going on already, and I'm just...
I got nothing going on.
I don't know how to chime in on this.
You did it. Cecil came.
You can, I mean, how many guests have we had? Well, we should have. I think what needs to happen is you have people back to do more.
Yeah.
Because then they can, like the first podcast you do, you're kind of like, I don't want to talk because what if my story's dumb?
Yeah.
It takes like 2 or 3 for you to not, you're like, this is probably going to be dumb, but who cares anyway?
Yeah, we've had Will, Rob, Ryan. Oh, look, Mike. Oh, we've got a real diverse line. The Will, Rob, Ryan, and Mike show.
All super normal names. Just
and they all played hockey. Son of a bitch.
But we got it. Paul Meyerhock's gonna come on if he's in town. He'd do better.
But we should have Mike back if he'll make the drive. He probably won't.
I'd love to if you guys are willing to have me. Yeah, for sure.
If you make
Yeah,
the
we should
drive,
have-
I
he's
just
not
love
driving
listening.
from Newfoundland. Where is he driving from?
He lives here.
Yeah, I know. Well, you said if he'll make the drive.
Well, you know, even when you live 9 blocks away, this podcast
By the way, when,
sucks enough that you don't want to do it.
Do you guys e-transfer the gas money? Or?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Or do you just
Give
pay
me-
in?
give
Or you
me
just
your
pay in
email.
Hollywood?
Hollywood.
We pay in Scratchy Ticket
Going
Hollywood.
face first.
Thank you for being
Scratchy
a guest on
snout.
this show.
Thanks,
for
Mike
having
Lynch.
me.
Good luck with your
Thanks for
next
the iced
upcoming
tea.
tour. We'll have you
Thank
back
you, guys.
on soon.
Yeah,
And you can talk about your tour.
Awesome. Thanks,
that'd be
guys.
fun. Oh yeah, we
Thanks,
didn't
Mike.
get you let you promote anything.
No, that's all right.
Have a great night. Thank you.
He's like, it wouldn't matter. Bye.